we're on video there, Mom.
Okay, just keep going like this. Huh?
Yeah, just go on over.
All right.
So yeah, I'm Mr. McKissick. I'm Jacklyn's dad. Hi, Jade. How are you? How's it going? Let's see. How are y'all doing today? Good. In case you're confused, I'm a visitor. Got that? I'm good with that? Okay. All right. Let's see. So I guess what we'll do is this. Jacklyn and I came here and talked to, maybe about half or 2/3 of you, maybe 6 weeks or so ago, before we went over to Tanzania for a few weeks. And I did most of the talking, and we agreed there that we'd come back and Jacklyn would do most of the talking and share some slides. But along the way, Jacklyn will tell you about the slides and tell you about our trip and the orphanage and the safari and the animals and that sort of stuff. And any questions you have along the way, she or I will do our best job that we can to answer them. And when she's done with the slides, if we have some extra time before 3 o'clock and we're done, we'll entertain any of your questions. Okay? Cool. Is that on working for her there?
Is it blue? Hi.
And I'll operate a slide projector.
Hello?
Got it.
It works.
Can I stand right back here?
Is that the nod being the next slide?
Right here. Okay, thank you.
All right.
This is the luxury lodge that we stayed at. Well, it's considered luxury there, not here.
Why is it not luxury here?
It's just our room was just a room with 2 beds and a table and a chair and TV that we watch.
Yeah. Unless you like watching African soccer, then it kind of works a little bit. Hey, Grandma Di, you want to turn that 90 degrees this way?
This way.
There you go. There you go.
That was my bed, I think. Yeah, my bed. When we put the bed net down, we needed to put bed nets over the beds because we needed to keep the mosquitoes out so that we didn't get malaria.
Do you want to tell everyone about what other stuff we do to not get malaria?
We take a pill every day, and we wear bug spray and wear special clothes.
Yep. You don't want to get malaria. Malaria is endemic there, so it can kill you in like 3 days, and it's very common there. We also have to take pills. We have to start taking pills a few days before we go, take them every day at breakfast, and we have to keep taking them for a full week after we get back. And also, if you forget to take your pill one day, then your dad has to run up to wake and barge in and try to give it to you, which really makes the school nurse really nervous. But at least you don't get malaria, right? So even at night, you got to keep the bed nets over so you don't get bitten by mosquitoes.
When we were on the side of the road that first day, I saw all these Maasai herding their cows. And I kept trying to get a picture, but the car was moving too fast, and then I finally got this picture. Is that the Maasai back there?
What's that? Do the Maasai like cows?
What is the Maasai?
They seem to be getting
Oh,
away.
okay. What you know about the Maasai, Jacklyn?
There we go.
Really
That's
interesting
good.
tribe there.
Thank you.
They are the people that live there, correct?
That's correct. One of the local tribes. They live very much like they did in the Stone Age. Not exactly the same, but they do have some things like every once in a while you'll see them out with their cows and their sticks and out in the middle of nowhere. They walk 30 miles a day routinely while herding their cows to get their cows to the water, to the grass, and live a very basic subsistence pastoral lifestyle. Every once in a while, it's kind of surprising. You'll see a Maasai pull his cell phone out of his pal, and they really don't have any interest in our kind of lifestyle. You know, they're not like opposed to technology, but they just don't see what's useful about it necessarily. But cell phones are useful. It's way better to call someone on your cell phone than to walk 30 miles. You have to talk to them, right? So they like that sort of stuff occasionally. I'll tell you a little bit more about the Maasai as we get further into this. Very, very interesting habits. Anybody remember from our last discussion a few weeks ago? What are the only things that the Maasai eat? Tell me one thing.
Cow blood.
Cow's blood? No rice. They don't eat rice. Cow's milk? What else?
Isn't it that
What's that?
kind of like mashed potatoes?
No mashed potatoes. No fried potatoes, no scalloped potatoes, no mashed potatoes and butter, no french fries, no potatoes at all. Yeah. Cows. Yep. That's all when the side eat. They eat beef, they drink the milk of their cows, and they drink the blood of their cows. They'll drink water too, I suppose. You're right. You got it right there. They don't eat burgers. Interesting. Very interesting. Okay, I'll go to the next one. That activity is causing consternation in the audience.
This is me and Charles. This is me and Charles with.
Which one's you and which one's Charles?
This one's me.
Oh, right. Okay.
This one's Charles.
Okay.
With the Maasai warriors.
Here's another picture of the four Maasai warriors we saw on the road. So we were driving. This is on our first day. This is on our first day on our way there, and we saw these guys along the road. So normally the Maasai dress in very colorful robes. They're red and purple and blue, as you'll see. But this is these young men they call Marani, which is their warrior class. They're the ones who take the cows out and herd them and defend them, and they're known for having a very fierce reputation among the other tribes. But what they do is, when you get initiated into adulthood, which usually happens around age 14, 15, or 16, depending, and then you are an adult, and you're responsible for cows after that. After the initiation ceremony, they dress in this drab brown and black and paint their faces, and they disappear into the wilderness for 6 weeks. And they just disappear and wander, and when they come back, they're men, and enter into the society as full-blown men with full rights. So we caught these guys. These three right here had just gone through the ceremony, and this is a young warrior who had gone through it a couple of years before, so he was their guide for that 6 weeks while they were just wandering.
This is the picture I got of our first lunch there. Can't see it very well, but there was, I think, this is the beans. That's the rice, maybe. For dessert, we had bananas and papaya, and then
Looks like Mbe to me.
mango.
Mango? Yep. That's what? I don't know. Hard to say.
There was also chicken. I remember chicken.
Yeah. Love chicken there. Okay. Next slide.
Yeah.
All right.
This is the lizard slash.
It's like 20 feet
gecko.
long, wasn't he?
He was like 5 inches.
Oh, right. I'm sorry, I get confused about that. Right. But he looks so big on there.
This was right outside the real luxury lounge that we stayed at for the last 2 nights.
Next slide. All right, here we go.
This is me buying books for the kids in Arusha for Africa. We bought 150 books for about $300. That was money that he gave to me for learning Swahili.
Did you learn your Swahili? What's Swahili?
Ndio.
Dio. Ndio sana.
These are the kids at the orphanage outside drinking. I have no idea what it was, but it seemed to be hot and white.
Like a thin porridge. Yeah, like cornmeal, but a really thin cornmeal that you would just drink like that. That's their lunch.
Okay. Next.
Yep.
Bye.
Is there one hand in the air here? We'll take one question. Is there one question?
Carson.
Oh, Carson.
Were you guys the only people from America there?
Right, Carson's question is, were we the only ones from America there? This is your dog, yeah?
No, we had other people that came with us, but other than that, I'm pretty sure there was like at least one American group in this
people are very exotic over there. So there were 6 of us in our group. When we were in Arusha, the big city, we saw some other Westerners there. And maybe on one day we saw another group of Westerners in town, in the little town that we were in, Mkwambu. Incidentally, so Mkwambu, didn't you guys remember, did I tell you last time what Mkwambu means in Swahili? You want to tell them what Mkwambu means, Jacklyn?
Mto means river. Wa means
Mkwambu means river of mosquitoes. Give you some idea where we are. Yeah. More of a stagnant, smelly drainage ditch, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, one more question before we go on to the next, before we talk about this slide?
What's the farthest distance you traveled?
From where? You mean from here?
Where's the farthest place you've been?
Well, let's see. We were, how long did it take us? It took us 46 hours to get home, to give you some idea. From when we left our luxury lodge that wasn't very luxurious until we actually got home to where we had a bed to sleep in. Though Jacklyn was sleeping pretty much continuously for the last 5 hours of that before we finally got there. But we probably traveled, I want to say, 10,000 miles altogether. Our last plane flight was 10.5 hours long to get back. There's 2 big long flights you have to be on to get from here to there. Okay?
This is the kids eating lunch the day that we were there. What they're eating is a mixture of rice, cabbage leaves, and chopped up carrots.
Pretty good. Did you like it?
Yeah.
Next slide.
This is me eating with Ava, one of the little girls there.
Which one's you? Which one's Ava?
That one's me, that one's
I
Ava.
thought that was Charles. Oh, right. Okay. This is a picture I got, or we got, not here, of the kids. You can see their laundry in the back. Charles told us that the the littler kids sometimes get in trouble for stealing socks this line because they put them together and make balls out of them. So it's interesting, guys. So let me think. I don't know all the kids' names. There's 114 of them. This is Loveness. This is Miriam. That's Tattoo right there. I don't think I know the rest of the names. That's Ian, the pharmacist in Youngsville. You know, you can tell from his bald spot. I don't know who that guy is. I think that looks like my hat, though, so it might be me underneath my hat. But these kids right here are some of the older kids, and they are, I know Tattoo is 13 years old. I think Loveness is 11. I think Miriam is 12. So they're right about your age right now. And there's a real good chance that some of these kids in 2 or 3 years, like the ones you see in this picture, will actually be coming to Warren to live for a year for a foreign exchange program. So they'll probably be students in your class in a few years. And one of the things, when we're talking to the government officials trying to figure out how we can work this all out, and they said, well, it's really important that when they come here for a year that they not fall behind in their Tanzanian studies. So one thing we might have to have is some extra special classes in, like, African history, for example, or African politics here, which will be a requirement for them, but which maybe some other kids will be able to take as electives, say when you're in 10th or 11th grade. So there's a good chance that you'll meet some of these kids right here in a few years. Okay, next slide. We'll keep moving to the slides for a few minutes here, just to make sure we get through them, and then we'll see if we have any time for questions.
This is the picture I got of the kids cutting